Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Tammy coming to you live today from my office here in Farmville, Virginia. It is Sunday morning, which means it is time for Sunday sermon. My camera seems like I'm really close up today, but we're going to go with it, keep it moving. This is a lot more fun when we have folks watching, and I don't always know who's here unless you do me a couple of favors. Number one, say hello and tell us where you're watching from. And then if you don't mind doing me a little favor, dropping us a hashtag Grateful Fed in the comments, it helps the video get found. It costs nothing to just to say hello and to give me a little thumbs up and a little heart. If you see the little live where I can see it, that means you're watching this live. I'm here right now at 10:14 a.m. on Sunday, January 28th, 2024. And if that little button is gone, then I'm going to say that you're watching the replay. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. Norma Jean, I am so glad to see you on here this morning. And I'm going to put this up here. Yes, be like Norma Jean. Say hello. Tell us where you're watching from. My technology is a little delayed today. I'm not going to let it bother me. I'm just going to be patient with it and let it ride. William came in yesterday to see me to get some thanks from Miss Norma Jean and said that she was not feeling good. So we have been sending some healing energy out towards Norma Jean's way. So if you're watching this today, either here today or on the replay, do me a favor and see that little name at the bottom there, Miss Norma Jean from Abilene, who says Grateful Fed in Farmville. Good morning, Tammy. We're going to concentrate some healing energy for Miss Norma Jean for whatever is ailing her mind, body, or soul to make it alleviate that and to make her feel better. Amen. Right? We're gonna claim that in all the names of all the things. I am drinking my cup of coffee this morning that I made at home. I'm very, very proud of that. Um, I I drink my coffee from home. I don't need Starbucks. I mean, it's delicious. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's a nice treat, but I'm not like someone who is a Starbucks kind of every day, got to have my Starbucks to get through the day. I got to have a cup of coffee. I like to have a cup of coffee to get through the day. Good morning, Katie Shaw from Florida. I love it. Florida and Farmville in the house, all the F's in the house. If you're watching this, tell us where you're watching from. We've been trying to get all 50 states. So if you can help us out. And I am live today in a couple of places. Also, where you're watching to see how many different places in the world we can get. And we are live today on my personal page, publicly on Facebook as well. Hi, Tammy, if you haven't met me already. I'm live on the Grateful Fed business page. I'm live on the Hometown Hippie business page. And I'm live in the community on YouTube, which is our YouTube community of all those channels. Please go follow us in all the places so you can find us live. Good morning to Miss Katie Shaw. Good morning to Miss Amanda Rose Giorgetti from down in Pinellas Park, Florida. So we've got a couple different Florida ladies watching us today. So there's like 9 of you, I think, watching, and like 3 of you said hello. So please take a moment just to say hi. In the world you are today. Of today's sermon is blessings in disguise. And if you are just now tuning in, this is the first time you've ever come to a Sunday sermon, hi, welcome. Every Sunday morning, I try every Sunday morning, right? As my nanny would say, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. I try to come live here with a little, I feel like God, the universe, source, angels, gods, whatever your words are, we tell people don't yuck anybody's yum. So whatever been kind of guide your principles, right? Good morning, Cameron. That's whatever that is. That's what we just say, God, the universe, whatever. And each week I feel like God kind of puts a testimony on my heart. And sometimes I don't come live because God says the testimony today is to get some rest and take a little day off. And last week I was very overwhelmed, and I didn't come in here and do Sunday show on my camera, turning my camera off to be unfocused. because I didn't have something was not laid upon my heart. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, I get very nervous speaking in front of people. Like Cameron is funny because he was at the Chamber of Commerce, and I can come on here and I can talk for hours about a lot of things. Is that nobody's looking back at me? It feels like I can see you over here and it's safe. But if I'm in front of people, I feel like there is a lot of pressure and I get very nervous. And I also, when I'm coming here live, I feel like I am, like I said, a testimony, right? I'm channeling a message. I am just the vessel in which is being used to deliver the message. So there's no pressure for me. It's like, it's not me. It's not my message. It's what God told me to say. And if God tells me to do it, I don't have to be worried about it, right? I don't have to stress over it. It's what it is. And I think that sometimes we as flawed humans in these meat suits or whatever, our souls in these bodies, we tend to our ego likes to take a hold of things, right, and lead us down sometimes the wrong path. As many of you know, I talk about we don't yuck anybody's yum. We use whatever word you feel comfortable with. I tell people all the time that I don't do religion. Like I don't talk about religion. I talk about spirituality and being a good steward of community, a good steward of the planet, a good steward of this time that I have with the soul, right? God, whatever it may be, put me here for a reason, and I'm going to try to be a good and faithful steward to do the best of the time that I have in this fleeting body that I have, maybe, 56, well, hopefully not 50, this is 50 years, right? But, the next, you get 80, 90 years in, kind of thing. So you do the best of what you got. And I kind of floundered a bunch of them, right? I feel like I kind of like ran rampant with the first 30. So the next, 40, let's do something with it. And, so I tell people I believe in namaste, right? The divinity in me recognizes the divinity in you, which means that God doesn't make mistakes, right? So we are all imperfectly perfect. And I recognize that in each and every one of us, that we all have our own walk on this planet. And the best thing that we can do is try to be kind to one another and do no harm, right? To do no harm and to try to spread love and light. And that's what we try to do is I try to lead by example. And I have spent, like last week, I took some time off because I was really feeling some kind of way about some things. And we all have those moments. And this week, I sat down and I really just leaned into faith, and I didn't knee jerk, and I didn't try to fit square pegs into round holes, testimony of how to be of service and how to understand that some things that are not going your way right now, if you're in that period of your life, and I've been there, so I can come speak about it. When you're in that period of upheaval, when you're in that period of the cloud is kind of looming over you, when you're in that period of trial and tribulation, do you know what I'm talking about? That time when you are like, I talk about it all. I call it the Lieutenant Dan moments of life, right? That's like tower moments if you're like using astrology, if you're my woo-woo people, right? Or maybe like so if you're using, like we say, we don't yuck anybody's yum, we don't boo anybody's beautiful. We have these tower moments, these big like Lieutenant Dan moments. If you're using a biblical reference, maybe like a Noah or a Jonah and the whale, or one of those, like I'm not a Bible. Those moments where you kind of look up to God and you're like, all right, this is all, those come to Jesus moments is what we would call them in secular or whatever world. And period of trials and tribulations, we feel like God was working against us. When I want to say to you, growth comes from the uncomfortable. Growth comes from the trials and tribulations. Blessings in disguise, right? Everything good, bad, ugly, or indifferent is working out in your favor. Trust and believe. Okay. I told you I took last week off. I always try to make this to give you an opportunity to see like these things in action, right? Of how to like I'm not just saying it because I'm playing lip service. I literally am walking it right now, like a lot of you are. If you are in that moment right now, just I feel like there's somebody out there who's like, I'm talking to them, maybe several somebodies that I'm talking to. If you are maybe in a moment right now of like not one more straw, like I am one, just one feather, right? You ever have like your pile of like everything stacking up and you're like, if a feather drops from the sky and lands on this pile, it is going to break me. Since around about the 15th of December, I have felt like there's been one thing after the other piling up and I felt the weight of the, like, what was it? Uh, Atlas with the world on his back, right? Like holding up the planet. Like you feel like anybody else have that feeling of just like stacking and stacking and stacking. You're like, God, Jesus, universe, God's helpers, whatever word you use. You're like, I literally cannot take one more thing. Just that's gonna set me off, right? Physical like things, maybe it's just gonna go with some people have them daily, right? It's like if one more person says one more thing to me today that is off the side of their neck, it's like I can't be responsible for what's gonna happen, right? Um, like, why is this happening to me? I'm trying this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing it. Why, right? I want you to stop asking why me, right? And I want you to change your perspective because I tell you all the time, I felt like that over the last several weeks. I have, it's my current shadow work, my current lesson, blessing in disguise that universe, God, source, whatever word you want to use, that I am working through, right? It's been coming up to be reknown again and reknown again until we kind of like I'd stop walking around the trees and the things that are falling to say, hey, is learning that things happen exactly when they are supposed to happen. The why me is the reason, right? The why me is the reason. I love that, Heather. That's a great thing, right? I'm going to talk about this, and I want to talk about this, right? The sorry, my brain went off on the sidetrack here. Every single thing, if there is a trying to think of the word. I'm trying to get it out. I'm trying to be a better communicator and be patient with myself to get the right word versus just talking through it. Is there a common denominator in each of these lessons? Is the thing that you need to do to solve these things that are happening in your world or to live with them or whatever, is there a common denominator? And for me, there very much was. There was a cause and effect. Because I was not patient, this was the effect, and now I'm dealing with it. So some of these things were coming 2 years where I have not wanted to be patient, not wanting to, I just want it because I want it, not because it's the right, you know what I'm saying? Like one of those things is strictly, I think, a lot of ego-driven things, fear created opportunities in the past that I may have signed too quick on the dotted line, and now everything's coming. Why am I still getting a bill for this? Oh, because I did this because I could, right? Why am I still getting this, or why am I getting that? Little things like that, right? And when I stop and I take a lesson and I'm saying, hey, I know that everything is working out for me, but why am I in this season of trying this season? My computer is acting strange. It keeps like circling and my camera keeps doing something weird. But I'm being patient. I'm not getting mad at it. I'm like, it's what it is. I hope that it's not frustrating to you all. I'm hoping that I'm going to send StreamYard a message and say, hey, my computer does this every so often. What's going on? But if in that season of the storm, right, I can see that because I did not have patience, because I tried to fit a round or square peg into a round hole months ago, these are the things that are coming back to me now to be the consequence of my action. And the universe is saying, hey, and it's giving me opportunities to be patient in the resolution of it, or I can utilize a similar a solution and then be here again. And I'm having to rethink it, right? And it's not an easy lesson. because it's not meant to be. Sometimes knuckleheads like me, and probably a lot of time, and it was called movies from the early 2000s, late 90s. Not even sure when it came out. It's a while ago. And they're going on this epic road trip to this girlfriend's college, one of those classic silly movies, comedy movies, rom-com kind of things. And they are looking at the map, and one of the guys said, "Why are shortcuts so difficult?" And one of my favorite lines ever, and it stuck with me. So it's one of those things that God, universe is like, I'm gonna let Tammy hear something the way she can hear it, because it stuck with me, and I've thought about this in several places in my life. Because the response was this, right? He's like, "Why is it so hard? Why are shortcuts so difficult? Such a pain in the ass for these shortcuts." And the guy goes, "If it was easy, it would just be the way." And I thought about that in the last couple of weeks, right? That word, that line has come in and come in and come into me. If it was easy, it would just be the way. And I thought about that, and I'm like, was the way really? I was like, oh, so that's the lesson, right? That's the blessing in disguise. That's the lesson, right? Blessings are lessons. Lessons. I try to make it rhyme. Blessings are lessons. See, if you're Southern, you can make a lot of things rhyme just by putting our drawl on it and pulling out the syllables the way we need to. And I'm really good at making things that do not rhyme. And I mean, in my brain it does because I say it funny, but they don't. And that's why it says blessings in disguise, because I kept saying blessings are lessons, and it rhymes to me. But when I typed it out, I was reading it like a proper American, not like a Southerner that just talks like this everywhere I go. And so I was like, blessings are lessons. I'm like, that's not rhyme. No wonder everybody makes fun of me when I say it and it rhymes. So little fun to get us off of the Tammy's a jackass, right? So when I saw blessings in disguise, I thought about like how many that's it. That's the lesson. That's the shadow work, right? When you look at a blessing in disguise, all of these things that have been piling up and 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 piling up, right? It's what cats kind of felt. I'm like, oh. I told Red last night, told Red and Evan, we were sitting at the table, I was like, I have fallen down. I've been falling down for about 2 months. I need a minute. I need to get my shit together, and I'm coming back strong. I said, but right now I'm in a season of struggle, and it's okay. But in that moment, right, the lesson was, if it was easy, just do it the way it needs to be done, right? All of these things that is coming back to be renewed are shortcuts. They're not easy. They're shortcuts. It's like, okay, here's an opportunity to get a capital loan that's got some interest that's pretty high, or I can wait 2 weeks for a check and say, hey, I'm going to have interest to get this money today. I need y'all to give me a little bit of time. Ego won't let me do that. Ego's like, no, I don't want to tell anybody that I need to float something for 2 weeks, because that's embarrassing and that hurts my feelings, and that makes me seem less than. It makes my business seem weak, and ego, fear, right? If it was easy, it would just been simply walking in integrity and saying, hey, sorry, I know that I owe this today, and I know that I need to pay this today, but my bank account right now is not in a place to do that. And it's because I'm waiting on some checks from the state. And when they clear, I'll be able to pay everything, but I do some things on some net 30 payments, and I need a minute. And I don't need, and I take in this money, then I'm stuck in that cycle of needing to get that 30-day little extra input of income because you've spent the extra money, that kind of, it gets you in that cycle. And during the season, I said, if it was easy, it would just be the way. And right now it is not easy, right? If right now it's like, I'm like, here's the thing. If I would have done it the right way from the beginning, it should just be falling into place, right? So that's the lesson that I learned. I'm like, dude, and I'm being honest and authentic with you all. And I was like, hey, sorry, I'm going to be late. I'm going to owe you money for a minute, and it's not fair to me to owe you money. I get that. But I have to eat crow right now. Things to happen. And had I done it from the beginning, right, it'd been a lot easier. I'd be in a lot different place right now. But here I am now, and I'm going to I'm just, blessings in disguise, right? At times you're less the things you learn important than the things you earn in this life, right? Respect of a monetary outcome or gain, like earning a spouse, you learn lessons in love. Earning a friendship, you earn lessons in that. Hello, can y'all hear me? Can y'all, if y'all can hear me, can you please comment you can hear me? I'm trying to get my technology to do something. I don't know what's happening right now.